Welcome, everyone, to episode 5 of MaxPitch. As we're about to begin, please feel free to drop in the chat with this new year coming to a start, some of the resolutions you've got for the upcoming year, or something you're proud of accomplishing in the past year. Hello, and welcome to MaxPitch, a high-stakes reality show where visionary founders pitch trailblazing business ideas to a panel of seasoned investors, the funders. Entrepreneurs from all industries are carefully selected for a chance to impress the funders with their groundbreaking ideas and sharp business acumen. Will they secure the coveted funds and mentorship to turn their dreams into a breakthrough? Stay tuned to find out. We have an amazing program lined up for you today, so sit back, grab your coffee, and keep your notepad handy because you will not want to miss the superstar lineup of founders and funders we have today. And now, let's introduce our founders. Our first founder is Tabassum Pasha from Waive The Wait. Waive The Wait is building an AI physician assistant to complete all clinical administration and provide initial analysis and triage on diagnostics to reduce the data overload for physicians. Next up, we have Mansour from ConeLabs AI. ConeLabs is making the world safer by improving the way in which we inspect infrastructure through AI and 3D models. Our final founder is Adil from CloudCure. CloudCure is a digital health platform that provides expert care and a sustainable path to regaining metabolic health and medical weight loss. We have quite the impressive lineup of founders here today, and I'm excited to engage with their upcoming pitches. Next up, let's introduce our funders. Our first funder is Bilal Khan from Intuition Capital. Bilal Khan brings with him 2 decades of experience in finance, business, technology, and law, and is currently the managing partner of We Shall Investments, a premier private equity firm with a portfolio of investments across North America and the Caribbean. With a proven track record as an operator, advisor, and investor, Bilal is responsible for leading the firm's overall management, steering the growth of its portfolio companies, and guiding new investments. Bilal is passionate about technology, entrepreneurship, and startup growth. He is an angel investor in over 30 early-stage technology startups across North America, which have grown to be sector leaders and disruptors in their respective industries, some companies of which have grown to well over $1 billion in equity value. Next up, we have Danish Munir from Grey Matter. Prior to Grey Matter, Danish founded Genoa Telepsychiatry, formerly One Doc Way, one of the first telepsychiatry companies in the country. After growing Genoa to become the largest telepsychiatry company in the country, serving 250,000 patient visits per year in 35 states, Genoa was acquired by Optum in 2018. After seeing the evolution of digital mental health at Optum, he decided to dedicate his next act in mental health to taking a systems-level approach in improving the entrepreneurial journey for the next generation of founders. Danish is also a founder at Watershed Ventures, a venture capital firm that harnesses the power of entrepreneurs from non-traditional backgrounds to cause transformative change in industries that matter, including healthcare. Danish still serves on the investment committee at Watershed and has been personally investing and advising behavioral health startups since 2011. Our third funder is Karim Masarani from Amzat Capital Management. Kareem joined AMZEC Health in 2022 and focuses on medical devices and digital health. Kareem comes to AMZEC with over 15 years of industry experience in life sciences across multiple sectors and functional areas. Prior to AMZEC, Kareem was at Merck, where he led commercial business development for diagnostics, as well as established and managed the digital and AI-based diagnostics commercial portfolio in oncology. Prior to Merck Oncology, Kareem led corporate strategy for Merck's animal health division, where he formulated long-term strategy and supported large-scale M&A. Prior to Merck, Kareem was at Dentsply Sirona, where he worked in both business development and R&D. Kareem began his career as an R&D engineer at Becton and Dickinson. And last but not least, our fourth funder is Mohammed Kamal from Mendoza Ventures. Mohammed is an executive product and engineering leader at MasterCard with over 20 years of payments and fintech experience. He has co-founded several digital products at MasterCard while helping set its strategy in bill payments, digital wallet solutions, and real-time payments. Mohammed recently served as the COO of the UK's Pay by Bank app. Outside of MasterCard, he invests in and advises early-stage fintech, cybersecurity, and AI startups. Mohammed is a limited partner in a Boston-based venture capital fund focused on early growth stage companies. He also runs a partnership that specializes in providing nearshore staffing services and solutions. His educational background includes a master's degree in computer science from the University of Michigan and a bachelor's in computer science and business management from McGill University. Alrighty, and we are live. Welcome everyone to episode number 5 of MAXPitch. Modeled after popular shows such as Shark Tank and Dragon's Den, MAXPitch gives Muslim entrepreneurs a chance to pitch their businesses to a panel of seasoned investors in the hopes of raising money to grow their ventures. However, MAXPitch isn't just about funding. It's about mentorship and partnerships, shaping the success of tomorrow's Muslim-owned ventures. With a talented series of founders and funders, alongside the hardworking Max team and our fresh, live audience, we have quite the program ahead of us today. My name is Alia Jalil, and I'm excited to be your guest host. I'm a fourth-year student at the University of Toronto, majoring in computer science, specializing in software engineering, and minoring in creative writing. It's a mouthful. I work in technical program management, and in the long term, I'd like to be a motivational speaker at the intersection of tech and education. My computer science background has me particularly excited for what's on the table today. I mean, there's no better feeling than getting to see the creative applications of what you've studied. I have a feeling the inspiration from our founders today will be deeply inspiring to me personally, but also to our funders and our lively audience here with us. Speaking of our lively audience, let's take a quick gander through what's been said in the chat. I know I'd asked earlier, what are some of our New Year's resolutions? Some folks said, ooh, running in the waterfront marathon. I want to do that too, inshallah. I want to do the 10K. Watch every new episode of MAXPitch. Okay, someone's trying to get some brownie points here. An accomplishment in 2024 was completing 1,000 hours of foreign language study. Wow, that is impressive. Duolingo would be proud of you. Alrighty, and I see people are coming and joining in from all different areas, so that's also great to hear. Thank you all for joining in. Looks like we've got some newcomers, we've got some seasoned guests, so welcome to everyone. And with that, we've got quite the ambitious crew with us today. I wish you all the best in accomplishing those goals you've got this year. And I'd now like to introduce our first founder, Tabassum Pasha from Waive The Wait. Oh.
Sorry. Okay, thank you guys can hear me. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here and for your time today. I'm really excited to walk you through what we've built so far and where we're heading as a company. So My co-founder and I started this company because of our own struggles when we were trying to access healthcare. And for me specifically, a couple of years ago, I was trying to see a specialist, and that specialist had a 9-month wait time. And I went to my family doctor, I got a referral, and I was told to expect not to hear back from the hospital for a few months while they get me an appointment time. So I waited around 6 months. I didn't hear back. So I got back in touch and I realized that my referral was never sent. And I had to wait almost 10 more months before I could see that specialist, making it almost 2 years from my original appointment date. And then during that time, my health had deteriorated significantly, and it's taken me a while to bounce back from that. So when I met my co-founder at Queen's, we tried to understand, why did that actually happen? A, why did I have to wait? Why did that specialty have 9 months of wait time? And B, why was something as easy as a referral being sent missed? And so we spent around 1.5 years just doing pilots, shadowing doctors, being inside the clinic and understanding what the context was. And we realized that there was 2 distinct issues. The first one being that staff are completely overwhelmed. They are managing all the patients coming into a clinic. They are dealing with hundreds of tasks, hundreds of documents coming in through fax, email, regular mail. They are supporting the physicians. They are managing the phone lines, which seem to never stop, all while being understaffed. These clinics are incredibly understaffed. There's a shortage of medical office assistants. And so because of that shortage, because of how much work there is, that carries over into the second issue, which is that physicians themselves are completely overwhelmed. Physicians are spending around 19 hours per week just doing administrative work, like filling out forms, looking through test results, summarizing documents, making sure they're getting the right pieces of information. And that's what is contributing to the lack of, or the inability to access healthcare quickly. So what we're doing is addressing both sides of the issue and just trying to eliminate healthcare administration altogether. We started off on the clinical side. We've built out tools that integrate into the clinical electronic medical record and can automate tasks from end to end, no staff intervention. And now we're getting into the physician side and being able to look at or being able to fill out automatically forms from the EMR, and then also taking a look at test results and looking at them in the context of that patient's history, so that physicians have the right pieces of information when they're seeing the patient, and we can take care of all of the post-appointment workflows and follow-ups completely automatically. At around this time last year, with the 2 modules we have on the market, we were generating around 5,000 in MRR, and now we are at 19,000 in MRR, which is around 230,000 in ARR. Currently, we're working with 60 paying clinics across Canada in 4 different provinces, about to launch in our 5th. And we're incredibly sticky. Once we're in a clinic, it is very unlikely for them to leave unless they're switching to an EMR that we're not compatible with. And we've been able to grow this far because of a couple of different factors. We have integrations with 2 of Canada's largest EMRs, Oscar and Accuro. With Accuro, we are a market vendor. We're a market vendor, and we're one of 10 companies nationwide to have this relationship with them. And we also have distributors. So we're partnered with a company called Cortico, which is a booking platform for physicians. They're based in Vancouver. We are their AI component, and so they take care of sales from lead generation all the way through to invoicing. And so we have a couple of partners that have facilitated this 4x growth for us over the past year. Really, the goal for us is to be able to scale exponentially this year. We have some incredible opportunities in the pipeline in the next couple of months. We've signed our first hospital pilot in the US with a radiation oncology center in Rochester. We've gotten our first pilot clinic in Boston. We're in the midst of completing a pilot with a pharmacy in Winnipeg. And we've actually just started working with our first family practice in Manchester. So we're just in the discovery phase with them, figuring out exactly what they need. And what's really exciting about all of these opportunities is that A, it gives us access to larger contract sizes, and B, it is just a slight modification of the numbers we have already. And so it unlocks these incredible opportunities with what we have right now. This is only possible because of the team that we have. So on the team, we've got my technical co-founder, Shrey. Before co-founding Waive the Wait, he was developing award-winning software, and he's just completed his master's in biomedical computing. My chief medical officer, Dr. Tupper, is the deputy chief of family medicine at William Osler, one of the busiest community health centers in Canada. And he is also the co-chair of the Central West Ontario Health Team, which has around 1 million patients under its care. And for me, before co-founding Waive the Wait, I was leading AI research projects at the Kingston General Hospital, and I was also doing some healthcare consulting to open up a new clinic in Kingston. What we're projecting for this year, we've barely just scratched the surface with the opportunity that we have. Across North America, the TAM is around 57 billion. But just looking at, even if we just were to look at Canada, there's around 6,000 clinics that we can work with, and we're just at 60. So by the end of this year, we're planning to hit 260, and by the end of next year, we're planning to hit 600. Over time, as we've grown, we've started to see larger and larger clinic chains. And now with the hospitals and the pharmacies, we're really hoping to get to bigger organizations to improve our unit economics and just chase those bigger contract sizes. And we're raising $1 million because we're perfectly poised to scale. We've built all the partnerships that we need. We have the team to do it. We've put no dollars into outbound marketing or outreach. Everything has been inbound through our partners, our referrals. And we think that by putting some money into that, we can really get the leads we need. And then on the product side, our engineers are split between product development, R&D, and implementation. And we would really like to separate those functions so we can get the clinics in faster and start onboarding. In terms of the raise, we have actually 1.4 million soft circled, and we're just looking for a lead right now to get everyone closed up. But while we were doing that, we've begun to take angel checks. So we have around 75,000 committed already. And yeah, thank you so much for the time. I'm really excited to answer any questions that you may have.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Tabassum. I know that those first few components of any doctor's appointment can be agonizing, so it's an amazing opportunity for you to build that gap. And so with that, we will turn the floor to our funders to share their thoughts. Which brave funder wants to go first?
I'll chime in. Tabassum, great presentation. You nailed all the important points. I feel like I really understand the problem you're trying to solve. I deeply empathize with the issue. My wife is a dermatologist. Her wait times are between 9 months and a year, sometimes more. And so let me just say, if it was her clinic that dropped the ball on your appointment, let me apologize in advance. It very well may have been us. But it's a big problem, right? And I always say that, and we talk about this all the time, is like they're physicians, they're not operators. So they don't really operate their clinics and their offices very efficiently. And I think AI can do a tremendous job in building that up. I also noticed that John Laban is on your advisory board. So John is a portfolio company of mine. We invested in his company ops level at an early stage. So I'll be connecting with him to kind of learn a little bit more from his perspective on what you're doing. My question for you is, you've got 60 clinics, massive target market. What channels are working for you? What are you converting on? How are you getting to market? And how do you scale that, right? How do you get from 60 to 4,000 clinics in a cost-effective way?
Yeah, so I mean, right now our customer costs of acquisition have been pretty low compared to what our like LTV is. So and that's just because we haven't really put too much into marketing. What's been working for us is our partnerships. So at first with our Accuro relationship, the relationship was just that you get the leads, all you get is access to our clinics. We'll let you integrate. But because it's been working so well and clinics are really loving it, what Accuro decided to do was let us do a demo to all of their practice consultants nationwide. And now they're talking to their clinics and they're doing the lead generation for us. And what's incredible is that every time they bring us a lead, the conversion rate is so high because those customers are already prepped and primed. They want it. They're hungry. They want it right away. So that's been working great.
What's their incentive, by the way? What's their incentive? So those customer reps, what do they get for selling your product?
So they don't actually get anything, but Accuro has a revenue share from us. So they're not, practice consultants are not working on commission. They're just trying to help their
Akiro does have a rev share with you for every sale.
Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
So that's been working great. And then the relationship that we have with Cortico has been incredible. We started working with them. We've been working with them for a long time now, but we really formalized our relationship this year. And so they've been bringing in quite a few clinics for us every single month. We also have a bit of a rev share with them too, but they take care of all of the processes and basically get us involved in implementation. The conferences have been a wonderful way to increase awareness. We just go in as presenters because exhibiting is really, really expensive. So we submit the abstracts, and then that has generated a lot of awareness. The other little pieces are word of mouth. We've got like some super champion doctors that keep bringing in people.
Tabassum, you had me at Akiro. We're good. Okay. That's a great channel. That's cool. A great channel.
Thanks for your question, Bilal. Great questions here. We'll pass the floor to Mohammed.
Fantastic, Tabassum. I think interaction with the healthcare system, whether it's in the US or Canada, is unfortunately infuriating. So I totally empathize with the problem you're trying to solve. And I'm glad you're seeing some good early traction. So I look at it when I look at your vision, the vision looks great. I see you're starting off with some of the workflow automation, the task automation, some low-hanging fruit in the administration of a clinic, which solves a real problem. And to Bilal's point, maybe physicians aren't used to operating companies well in that sense. But then I see kind of a shift in your vision that goes into the clinical or the practice of medicine itself, the lab analyzer, the self-learning lab analyzer, which seems like it's part of like the mission critical part of the practice of medicine. Higher liability. Convince me that you're qualified to make that shift from just the the administrative task automation into the actual more clinical side of things. Unless I'm just misunderstanding the roadmap altogether.
No. You've understood correctly. We're beginning to make that shift right now. So one of our products, and I think we'll play that like 1-minute demo at some point, but one of our products is a system that can automatically process all the faxes that are coming into a clinic. And so you're dealing with anything from spam to appointment notifications to urgent results. And so before we were just, labeling and filing to the right doctor and like right patient, which already removes a lot of burden, but we have taken it a step further and we're identifying key scores, test results, things that are identified as urgent and making sure that they get to where they need to get so that they're being looked at immediately. And so we've already begun to make that shift. And as we do it, we're consulting with our entire medical team. We have a lot of doctors that are on the advisory board and that are also investors. And so they're helping us with that. The initial step into like the self-lab analyzer, for example, before it becomes self-learning, will be set by the physicians. The ranges of the lab values will be set by the physicians, because right now, when a value comes in from a lab, it might look normal, but the physicians are thinking about something else based on the context of the patient's history or based on just their tighter ranges. So we'll start getting into that with kind of steps. So physicians can set their own criteria, and eventually when we're comfortable there, we'll get into the self-learning piece.
All right. Thank you, Mohammed, for your question. I'll pass the floor to Kareem.
Thank you for a great presentation, Tabassum. Really neat product. We've looked at a lot of AI solutions to enhance the workflow. It's probably one of the neater ones. Just curious, in terms of the different value propositions you're offering, whether it's like triaging or patient follow-up, which one's resonating more with your customers? And does that differ from geography? Like in Canada, the system is very different than the US, and how's that kind of translating over?
So both of the systems are actually incredibly useful, both in primary care and specialists. So most of our customers use both. We started off with task management, and then when we developed the triaging system, we sold it back into our existing customers. And so 80% of our customers use both. And what we found is that it doesn't really differ by geography, but it differs by specialty, it differs by organization type. So in hospitals, they have a lot more faxes. And so the triaging system for them would be more useful than the task automation. So So really, both systems are applicable wherever there's high volume. It doesn't really differ by geography per se.
Got it. And then across specialties, which specialties do you think, I guess, benefit most from the task automation?
So, I mean, family practice has benefited quite a bit from task automation just because their phone lines are always so busy. Across the specialties, what we've noticed is that there's difference between specialists and family practice. But once you're actually in a specialty, like those specialties don't differ too much in their workflows. It's the same kind of thing, processing referrals, creating these new patients in the EMR, getting an appointment booked for a patient maybe 6 months down the line because that's how much the wait time is. So following up when test results come in. So there isn't too much difference between specialties, but there is a difference between family practice and specialists.
Do you think as you migrate to more enterprise, or is there a plan to migrate to more enterprise solutions? How would that differ? How would that change? Would the tech stack need to change greatly?
We are working. That was a big part of what we did this year, was overhauling our systems to make them more scalable so we can support the larger organizations. And we have some very large organizations in the pipeline, several hospitals across the border as well. And one that we're speaking to right now that has several hundred providers. And so for them, we have had to relook at how what our tech stack is and make sure that we can scale.
Beautiful. Alrighty. Thank you to our funders for your questions. Let's have a quick look at our demo, and in this time as well, our funders, you can deliberate on your decision.
We have 3 systems that are currently in market and are commercialized. The first one is the Automated Task Manager. This deals with the high number of tasks that doctors create every single day for their staff, such as please book a patient in for an appointment, let patient know to update certain results, etc. What we will do is read these tasks as they come in from the doctor's side, process them, and automatically complete the patient outreach without any staff intervention. The second system is our document triaging service that reads in the hundreds of medical documents that clinics receive daily, processes them, summarizes them, and then sends it to appropriate doctor and patient's charts without any staff intervention. This extended version of this is being able to automatically create patient charts from a document if it's a new patient that the doctor's never seen before. What we're building out is a personalized physician assistant that will take all of this to a step further with the dream of being able to eliminate all the excessive information doctors receive every single day and only give doctors the exact information they need to provide diagnosis for a patient, especially since a lot of doctors miss important parts for what the patient needs because they're overwhelmed with so much data. Thank you so much, and excited to keep building this.
All righty. So we will shortly be having a QR code to go up for our, if anybody in the audience here as well wants to express their interest in being a customer or a funder of Waive the Wait. So that's available. And please feel free to take a quick scan of this. And as we do that, we'll now be turning the floor to our funders to make your decisions. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I'll go first. Tabassum, you nailed it. You did a great job. Like, did you say you just recently graduated from Queen's, and this is your first? Like, did you launch?
Yeah, we've launched this at Queen's. And
this is your first venture. Like, this is your first kind of. Congratulations, honestly, Tabassum, you're a rock star. I'm glad to see you in the role. I'm going to say a few things here. One is, I'd love to test you in our clinic. We own a few. Yeah. We own a few clinics. I'd love to see you get in there. Let's do a test. I'd love to. I don't think you're going to have a hard time raising that capital, to be honest with you. I think you did a really good job. There's going to be a lot of interest. It's $1 million, very early stage, and you've already got traction in revenue, profitable. And so I think that's huge. So I'm in. I'm in. I want to invest. I want to test it, and let's see where we can go with this. I'm going to talk to John first, by the way.
Please do. John's amazing, and he's been such a good support for helping us actually restructure some of our software to scale.
Amazing. So I'm going to ping him right after this call.
Please, yeah.
Alrighty, that's amazing. Let's keep it going. Who's up next?
I can jump in. Tabassum, I'm always intrigued by products and services that I think pay for themselves. So when I see something like this that essentially costs the doctor's office a few $100s a month, that's my coffee budget, unfortunately. And then the potential of saving the headcount of several individuals, just massive opportunity. I think massive value creation in that space. Obviously, you're gonna fine tune your economic model over time, but I see some potential upside. I see that kind of the opportunity for you to be kind of a vertical AI solution in this space as you progress. So I'd love to have some more conversations on this.
That's actually something I missed was so we tested this and they're a longtime customer now, one of the largest primary care facilities in Brampton. With our task automation system, they were able to sunset 3 positions, so $150,000 in savings for them with just one. So you're right. it does help them actually reduce the headcount.
Alrighty, we're 2 for 2 thus far. Let's hear it. Can we make it 3 for 3?
No pressure, Kareem. No pressure.
We will make 3 for 3. It's no. No, this is definitely. Well, I'd love to learn more. I think it's super exciting. I get really excited about technologies that improve patient outcomes in specific. I know this is not directly, but if you could free the doctor's time, the physician's time, the physician assistant's time to focus more with the patients, that's that's going to indirectly improve patient outcomes. So, I'm in. Would love to learn more. I think the key for me is how do you scale, because it's really hard, at least in the U.S., to go to clinic by clinic. You really have to have some like a good enterprise, a foot in the door on the large enterprises. And in that environment, it becomes really competitive, and integrations are much, it's a high hurdle already for those. So those sort of be my concerns, but I'm in to learn more for sure.
Nice.
Alrighty, and there we go, 3 for 3. Congratulations, Tabassum.
I'm going to step in for one more thing. Tabassum, I also would love to spend time with you as a new founder. I think there's a lot. It can get complicated. This is early days. It can be a really challenging scaling process as a founder, working with co-founders, as a new founder. So I'd love to spend a little bit of time, maybe giving you some being a sounding board, coaching, wherever we can help, because I've seen a lot over in my years.
That would be incredible. Thank you, Bilal.
Very excited. Very excited.
Amazing. And congratulations to Waive the Wait. Big things are coming your way.
Thank you, Alia.
Yes, of course. And with that, before we do move on to our audience, please feel free to drop any questions you might have in the chat as well, that Tabassum can go on to answer. With our energy and our spirits high, let's get moving into our second founder of the day. Introducing to the stage, Albert Mansour from ConeLabs AI. Is making the world safer by moving the way in which we inspect infrastructure through AI and 3D models. As a big fan of architecture myself, I look forward to learning how ConeLabs will be restructuring what we know.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Thank you to the Max team for organizing, to the funders for attending, and congratulations to Tabassum and to Waive the Wait. Amazing pitch, and we're really excited and rooting for you. My name is Albert Mansour, and I'm here to tell you about a massive opportunity in improving the safety of society by improving how we inspect critical infrastructure. Think about the roadways, the bridges, the silos, and the buildings we're occupying right now. Each one of these structures needs to be inspected. The problem is we can't keep up. And the consequence, unfortunately, makes global headlines. 40% of infrastructure in North America is in fair or worse condition, and 80% of structures are over 20 years old, which increases the demand on inspection. And unfortunately, worldwide, daily, we see 7 structural failures. A little bit about why this problem exists. Today, it's a very resource-intensive manual process where myself as a structural engineer go through terabytes of videos and images of structure to try to find defects. It's a process that involves manual capture, mobilization on site. It's dependent on weather conditions, economics, and as a result, we don't inspect as frequently or as comprehensively as we should. You'll see a video at the end of this demo, and a few points to highlight on this video is the only input we need from our customers is imagery. And here it is now, perfect. So from just imagery, we feed this into our reconstruction engine. We reconstruct a high-resolution 3D model of the asset, and our AI, we feed it into our AI, and it inspects where the defects are visibly located. This isn't your real estate walkthrough software. This is a true technology that we couldn't have built prior to just the last few years. In the last 15 months, alhamdulillah, we've graduated Techstars. We've worked with over 45 customers. I saw a revenue number there. I'm pleased to share that our momentum since we filled out some of the administrative submissions has gone through the roof. So January has been amazing, and now we're over 300,000 in revenue with a 300,000 backlog, and that's split between service projects and with subscription customers who are ICPs. If anyone here is from Canada, I'm a ring-wearing civil engineer, and you'll know why we wear these rings. But it wasn't until technology was able could we solve this problem. I'm honored to be joined by my co-founder, Dr. Ahmed Mahmoud. Dr. Mahmoud's research in computer vision, AI, sensor fusion is referenced worldwide. The rest of our team has dozens of years of experience in research and in business. And I'm looking forward, and along with that, we have some of the best mentors through Techstars and through Communitech, where we are based here in Kitchener. The built world is massive, but it wasn't until we had a technology could we think to address this $80 billion opportunity. So we're not just going after buildings and bridges, we're tackling runways and other large infrastructure assets such as dams and silos. We have a SaaS model where we're charging an annual or a monthly subscription along with a price per project. We're focused, out of the box, we thought we would focus on engineering firms, but alhamdulillah, we're seeing success with institutional customers such as bridge management, asset managers. So our biggest project that we'll be announcing bigger, I'm pleased to share here first, is the Blue Water Bridge connecting Ontario and Michigan. We are the technology selected to inspect this bridge. And with the city of Kitchener, we're inspecting 2 bridges and a roadway as well. So although we thought engineering firms would be our lowest hanging fruit, we're seeing a really nice mix of traction between engineering firms and from institutions. There's a bit of a race to be first to market. There are other technologies out there, but they're using other, older, or really the maturity and the advancement of AI in the last 3 years has allowed us to do what we do. And we've built with 3D data as an input from the beginning. Others are still using 2D or have a bit of a mix, but the opportunity is huge, and there's room for a few companies to be successful. We also have IP in how we do our detection in 3D. So with that IP, we're able to protect some of the development. It's all been built in-house. So our team has researched, developed the entire workflow. We own all steps in our workflow, which is really important because we are seeing some important feedback from customers. And had we been dependent on third-party vendors, then this could delay our ability to be nimble and adapt and take into account and prioritize our customer feedback. Our growth plan, alhamdulillah, again, we have last year, we won a pitch competition with AWS at the Collision Conference in Toronto. With that came $500,000 in AWS credits, which is essentially where our COGS go. So for the next 2 years, we don't have any COGS. So all of our fundraise is going towards our growth plan. We'll build our sales team. We will add to our development team, customer support team, and our operations. Our why at ConeLabs is to never see a structure fail again. We should feel safe driving on roadways, bridges, occupying older buildings. We have built it, and now it's time to take it to market. I'm Albert Mansour from ConeLabs. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Albert. And I really admire both the breadth and the depth of your architectural background is evident through this company. So excited to see how it can scale. With that, I want to also mention the audience. I see them being super engaged in the comments. They were with the previous founders and here as well. So appreciate that. Thank you to our audience. With that, I will pass the floor to our funders.
I can't contain myself, so I'm just going to jump right in. Like, Albert, I can't tell you how excited I am about this, honestly, for a few reasons. First of all, you're a civil engineer. Like, this is the problem you are working on every single day. By the way, you're also a graduate from the University of Waterloo. I sit on the board of governors of the University of Waterloo. Like, world-class talent. So you're based in Kitchener, out of Communitech, super connected to that ecosystem. So you and your co-founder, Emmett, like rock stars, you guys are just really, really talented, and I love the problem you're solving. Check this out. You're not going to believe this. It's going to like blow your mind. I am literally in the middle of the process of acquiring a $200 million business that focuses on underwater critical infrastructure. We're like months away from acquiring this company. And I've been spending day in and day out learning exactly about this technology. And there's divers, but the whole industry is moving towards roads, like ROVs and data and capturing that data and being able to share that. It's an inspections-based company. So if we pull through with that, then there's going to be a client for you on the other side of this, which will be really big. And it's the leading underwater critical infrastructure company. It supports hydro plants and power plants and critical infrastructure like that. So I think there's going to be some big things about that. Here's my question for you. What keeps you up at night? What's the single biggest challenge that you're facing as a founder building this company right now?
There's a variety of things that keep me. First, I think I just a quick comment, Bilal, on the company you're acquiring. We've been approached quite a bit by underwater inspection firms. So we are exploring the automation of some of that data. So essentially, as long as we have enough data to train our data set, then any visual inspection that a human makes could be applied and could be built into ConeLabs. I think what keeps me up at night is we have this demand and this potential. And I think, as a founder, I always wish I had more. I wish I had more money, time, resources, people, all of these things. But I think it's prioritizing what we need to keep up with the demand that we're seeing. So today, with these mega projects that have been given to us as a team, we all celebrated. And this was just in the latter part of December, just before kind of things slowed down and we took a break. The next morning I woke up and I panicked and I thought, oh my goodness, we have real projects now. So I think how to execute these projects. So I think it's resources that we need to just maintain what's the momentum we have. So capital, inshallah, after capital, it will be people, it will be our marketing, it will be our sales, customer support, constant development of our platform. So I think I said basically everything there, but it's keeping up with the demand, which I think is the best case, that we're being driven by customers reaching out and pulling and asking for more from us.
Brace yourself, buddy. I think a lot more is coming your way.
Amazing. Thank you, Bilal, for your questions. We'll pass the floor.
I'll jump in. Very cool, Albert. Waterloo's fantastic. If it was McGill, it would have been a little bit better, but I think Waterloo is great. I was recently talking to a buddy of mine who founded a company, kind of the real estate development and space, and obviously using a lot of AI on the development side. So I'm seeing a lot of movement in the space. I think you're on to something, a seismic shift in the area, and I think it's an exciting time. What I've seen from a lot of these types of companies is it comes down to two things. Like the quality of their technology, and I think the underlying data that gives them an edge to make the product better. And then also the UX and how well you can roll it out in the field to the engineers, the inspectors, whoever's using the product. Tell me just a little bit about the UX. Is this a co-pilot that the inspectors are using? Is the data being collected and just all done offline? Tell me a little bit about how this kind of operates and maybe why your UX may be better than some of the competitors out there.
Yeah, I think the number one answer here is that we have built a UX focused on inspection. So an entire suite of tools that inspectors need, first based on my experience, but then based on this feedback. So the tools that we built. So as much as our models look great, that's not what's important to us. It's more so the tools. I don't know if that demo showed, but now we've improved and released new versions, but the entire suite of tools that come with our UX. But the ease of use, I think, is going to give us a lot of traction. So just upload imagery. So we do have some guidelines on how to capture best imagery. So quality, resolution of images, the overlap in the images, making sure you get multi-points, multi-vantage points of an asset in order to create the best quality model. But most drone pilots, most asset managers are already doing this. So we're not asking for any effort over and above in the field. They upload that same data that today we're going through one by one. Then they have this tool now that aids in that critical task of finding these visible defects. So at least our intent is to free up time so we could just keep up with the demand. So then I can at least hone in on areas that that have suspicion of some secondary or warrant a second investigation or secondary investigation. So I think that keeping the inspection task in mind is a differentiator for us in our UX.
Fantastic.
Albert, when you're diagnosing the issue, I guess how far do you take it in the inspection? Hey, the structure has some potential. Do you kind of provide a projection as to when the structure may fail, and does that then help sort of the agency to prioritize what they're working on? I guess how do they implement the learnings from?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Kareem. So today we summarize the visual defects. So we've taught our AI, but the output is in a report that could be sliced and diced. So it's modular. So so today it's just a summary of all of the defects, their length, their location, and a URL that takes you to the defect. But of course, in the future we want to do more. So part of our plan is to show non-visible defects. So we can calculate depth of crack, for example. So that's something we'll integrate. But you touched on, in addition to that, we want to show some forecasts. So here is the potential timeline before remedial action is warranted. Here is the type of remedial action. Here's the materials in its exact quantity that's needed. So we do plan on adding these features and tools so that it's much more rich output, so that it aids not only in the identification and locate of the defect, but also in the forecasted kind of condition and the kind of where we see the structure in the next few years.
So I guess, is it fair to characterize it as presently it's a workflow tool that sort of speeds up the process of inspection for the inspectors, and in the future it's going to be more of a diagnostic or improved diagnostic? Is that sort of like just a way to simplify it?
Yeah, in the future the output will aid in many areas. So today, yeah, it aids in that visual defect detection, which, Kareem, is actually what eats up most of our time. So we have customers in the building science space that the comment was, we can finally make money again on an inspection, because when you go to a site and you could draw an entire budget on just these little cracks that for the most part don't warrant remedial action. So you've just eroded an entire budget looking at defects that don't really matter at this stage, but we can't ignore them either. So that's why we see the catastrophic failures, is because we just can't keep up with the demand of these inspections.
Got it.
Alrighty. Thank you to our judges for your informed questions. And with that, we're going to set a 1-minute timer to allow you to make those final decisions. And in the meantime, as that timer is running, we ask our audience, again, if you'd like to express your interest in being a customer or a funder, feel free to scan this QR code. Lots of movement happening in the chat as well. So keep that coming, keep the questions coming, keep the engagement coming.
Why is McGill getting some thumbs up? Where's the Waterloo folks at?
I did see some Waterloo excitement in there
Okay,
too.
I see some. There we go. Good. Yeah.
Alrighty.
Ahmed's with me. We're sitting across from each other. We're here at Communitech. We decided to meet here today.
Nice.
Alrighty. We'll give us about 10 seconds here on the clock, and then I will turn the floor back to our funders.
I'll jump in. Albert, love what you're doing. I'd like to kind of connect the dots behind the scenes a little bit to some of the other companies I'm talking to in the space. Being fully transparent, I don't have a broad network of like customers and engineering firms that I have that I can provide a value add. So I'm likely an out, but let me connect some dots behind the scenes on this, and best of luck.
Alrighty. Thank you, Mohammed, for your insights. I'll pass the floor to Kareem.
I'm in the same boat as Mohammed. Unfortunately, Albert, this is a bit outside my wheelhouse. I appreciate using computer vision to diagnose diseases, and this is
it's similar.
This is the closest parallel I could draw. I'm just not sure I could add a lot of value as an investor here, but I'm more than happy to sort of take this to engineering firms I know, and just help you find more customers and potentially reach out to some of the investors in my network that are more infrastructure leaning.
Amazing. Thank you, Kareem. And I will now pass the floor to Bilal.
Yeah, Albert, I'm out. No, I'm kidding. I'm in. Of course I'm in. I'm super excited about this. Like, I think these guys are missing the biggest opportunity. Like, aging infrastructure is such a massive problem. It's boring as hell, which is why I love it. It's such an incredible space to play in. You know Chris? Do you know Chris Albinson? Chris just launched True North Fund in Waterloo. It's a $100 million+ fund. We're an LP in it. I'm going to get you connected to them.
Okay, great.
They invest exclusively in Waterloo companies. I'm going to connect you to Garage, the guys over there, because they're a Waterloo seed investor. I'm in, man. Like, I'm super excited about this. And like, honestly, alhamdulillah, like, you know, world works in mysterious ways. Like, I'm like so deep in this particular space right now. And like, the opportunity is massive because there's not a lot of technology in a lot of these, like, you know, legacy businesses. And I think you're going to create tremendous efficiencies. It's a great opportunity. So I'm in.
Thanks, Bilal.
Bled, my heart dropped when he said you're out. I was like,
no, mine too.
No, I was going to jump back in. I was like, no, fine, Albert, we'll do it.
Listen, Kareem, it's not too late. It's not too late.
Yeah. I was creating the FOMO, guys. I was kind of.
Well, Kareem, you actually, I know kind of your backgrounds. I've looked it up, and you nailed it. That computer vision in healthcare, we're seeing that exact same pattern occur there. It's no different. As a structural engineer, I'm a radiologist going through images. So
exactly,
that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
No, look, I get the use case. It's absolutely completely understand it. Again, it's outside the scope of where my firm invests, but you know, happy to connect offline and maybe we can do something on the side. Yeah.
Great. And I also see questions for us. Please add me on LinkedIn, everyone, and I'm happy to connect there.
Albert, I'm going to be at a board meeting at the University of Waterloo in a week and a half, like 2 weeks, I think. So I'd love to come by and see you guys.
Amazing. Yeah, please. Please. That's amazing.
Okay.
Look at that. Connections being made. This is what we like to see. This is what we're here for, folks. But amazing. Thank you so much, Albert, for your presentation. Thank you to our funders for your contributions as well. And once again, please feel free to continue connecting in the chat. As Albert mentioned, connect with him on LinkedIn. You can continue to keep this conversation going. With that, let's keep us moving on to our third founder for today. One of our co-founders here is Salman Habib from CloudCure. CloudCure is a digital health platform that provides expert care and a sustainable path to gaining metabolic health and medical weight loss. As this new year has just begun and fitness resolutions are running rampant, this is a great time to hear what CloudCure has in store.
Thank you, Alia. Two tough acts to follow, but here I go. So hi, everyone. My name is Salman Habib, and I'm co-founder and CEO at CloudCure. I founded and exited startups and currently run an offshore BPO and a virtual back office business in the Philippines. Our other co-founders include our CEO, who's a CPA and has founded a medical diagnostics startup, 2 senior technology executives, and 3 Canadian physicians with varying specialties within the health space, which have allowed us to build a robust program. We've been operating in stealth with our heads down, working on business the last 18 months. So really, this is our first official pitch. But 5 years ago, Umar was diagnosed with idiopathic intracranial hypertension, or IIH. It's rare, it's life-altering, it's a neurological condition causing intense headaches, which was advancing into blindness. And facing invasive neurosurgery, Umar searched for alternatives and discovered GLP-1 therapy. Now, these medications have a unique side effect that tackle obesity and related secondary conditions like IIH, autoimmune disease, PCOS, osteoarthritis, and other conditions. And Umar and his wife, who's a physician, they were able to see changes in the conditions using GLP-1 therapy with smartwatch and CGM data. Inspired by these results, our founding team spent the last 18 months developing CloudCure, which is our connected care platform. Now, like Umar, many people across the globe suffer from the same conditions, and doctors are not equipped to deal with it. One such person is Heather. Now, Heather's results are real, but for confidentiality, we don't disclose personal patient info. She's one of our 200 plus success stories. She's a 47-year-old mother who struggled with weight loss. And as you can see here, she tried everything from paleo, keto, Atkinson's, Weight Watchers, you name it, she tried it. She found us online and qualified through our online eligibility quiz. She purchased our essential medical plan, which has a $75 sign-up fee one time and $69 a month. Her plan allows her to meet with one of our medical practitioners monthly for the first 3 months, and then every other month after that. She was matched up with Homera, who's one of our obesity care practitioners. During that initial consult, as you can see here, she can see Heather's KPIs in our EMR. Right now, these metrics provide very basic information, but it's important, for her in the program. In the near future, we want to be able to include Apple Health, Google Fit connectivity, where Homera will be able to counsel Heather on key trends, from data from her smart scale to her heart rate variability, number of steps, hours of sleep. And as you can see here, she started off at 260 pounds with a BMI of 41, and she's gotten down to 165 pounds after 13 months. Now, Heather also has access to our CloudCure mobile app. The app helps her track her progress towards her goal weight. Now, research has shown that regularly tracking and logging your weight helps improve results. And also, she engages in our psychology-based training courses, which use cognitive behavior therapy principles to help her gradually but effectively mold her lifestyle into a healthier one. She also tracks her prescriptions and appointments using the mobile app. And she gets support. She gets a lot of support easily, by reaching out to our clinician team without ever having to stay on hold for a doctor or office administrator. Now, earlier I spoke about metrics that are available to our medical practitioners, like Apple Health Kit, smartwatch, CGMs. But also the app will become a hub for real-time data and AI-based insights in our next phase of the platform development. So now, what are we doing? We're looking to raise $1 million. And, if we had a choice, really, we want to see if we can raise $250K from angels with relevant domain expertise and $750K from institutional. We plan on using 60% of those funds towards pure patient acquisition and expanding into new markets like the US. And 40% of that will go into further developing that technology and really creating our vision of a true metabolic health platform. So why invest in CloudCure? We've really got a proven market need with validated results. We've generated in our first year over $328,000 in revenue for the year. The Canadian TAM is $3 billion alone, and in the US it's 15 times that. And that's the tip of the iceberg. We also plan on expanding into products with supplements for GLP as well as markets like PCOS. We've got an efficient business model with a CPA of between $100 to $150. And a strong LTV of $1,700 and counting. And we've got a low churn of about 6.5%. So the tech is scalable. Our connected care platform and our mobile app can quickly expand across borders. We've got a refined recruiting pipeline to actively grow our network of medical practitioners, a trained and ready to scale in-house offshore patient contact center providing telehealth services, and a seasoned co-founding team. I believe that's time. So thank you very much, and happy to take any questions.
Alrighty, amazing. Thank you so much, Salman. And you know what, I'm personally a bit of a fitness and a health nut, and so I've tried and deleted so many different apps to kind of help guide me. And so really great to see your creative approach with this.
Thank you.
I will turn the floor to our funders to share their 2 cents.
Yes, I'll kick it off.
Great burst. Yeah. All right.
I'll pass the floor to Kareem to go on first.
Thank you for a good presentation, Salman. Really insightful, really cool. We've seen a lot of technology that's sort of going after, I guess, metabolic health and different aspects of the patient to help manage their lifestyle. I guess, what in your mind makes this approach unique, or what's proprietary about what you're offering?
Yeah, so what we've seen is a lot of companies in the space, they're either just online digital pharmacies, or they provide technology like CGM, and we're focused on providing everything in that gambit, right? To provide a complete user experience, and that's from like the mobile apps to the smart device connectivity, providing that digital lifestyle program as well as medication and coaching. So it's really about bringing everything together that we feel in the market is kind of bits and pieces right now, to try to converge.
And are you targeting only like endocrinologists or specific, metabolic health clinics, or?
We are B2C. We're focusing directly on the consumer. Right now it's a user acquisition play, where we find strategically we've got a low CPA, and we can realize revenue quickly, and then of course there's opportunities to expand into other business strategies.
And your business model is directly the patient basically pays out of pocket for the service?
Correct.
Got it.
Is there an insurance play?
There is an insurance play. So a lot of our patients right now do go through their HSAs, their health savings accounts, and it pays for the program because it has that flexibility. That's one of the things that we have some line of sight on is we want to start working with partners that can introduce it right through insurance programs versus going B2C.
Have you considered partnerships with like the CGM, the big CGM manufacturers? Like they already have a captive audience, they're already kind of interested in the space. Have you considered kind of making this an add-on to any of those services, or are you intent on going at it alone, direct to consumer? I mean, direct to consumer is a difficult market. That's why I ask.
Yeah, no, we're flexible. I mean, right now it's for us, it's market validation, generating revenue, developing further traction, and the nice thing is we have like a flexible team that is open to expanding. Where there's the least amount of resistance for market adoption.
Yeah. Salman, great presentation. So I would echo Mohammed's comment about finding the right channel and how you get distribution on something like this. B2C is hard. B2C in Canada is really hard. But if you can tap into like a channel that can convert successfully, then there's some real potential for scalability. So I'd love to dig a little bit deeper into that. I also, speaking of channels, one of my best friends runs the investment fund for Whittington. Whittington is the family office of George Weston Limited, which owns Loblaws and Shoppers. And they're making a big play on like weight loss and weight management. And if you notice, like in Loblaws now, you can like go there and get like a meal prep, like a meal plan, and you can do like they have dietitians in-house and all that other stuff. So I'm going to run this. I'm going to run your deck by him and his team to see if there's interest in engaging, and I'll circle back with you and let you know how that goes.
Definitely sounds good.
What is your? Do you have any metrics on like customer utilization, captivity, churn?
Yeah, our churn's about 6.5% right now over the last 14 months. And so we're starting to see it come down a little bit. Part of that, goes back to user experience, right? The level of engagement, you know, the medical practitioners that support the program and our support staff that kind of are able to quickly, you know, respond to and adapt to any questions and concerns that people may have, as well as even just delivery of medication.
Mm-hmm. And how long do they typically stay on the platform?
Our average is about 9 months. And that's still, you know, that's a growing number right now. So we don't have a complete life cycle of what it is from start to finish, but right now the average is about 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Alrighty, thank you to our funders for your insights. And we'll now be setting up that 1-minute timer for you to deliberate. While that's happening, we're going to put back up that QR code. So for anybody in the audience, once again, if you're interested in being a customer or a funder, feel free to scan this. And in the meanwhile, I'll peep through the chat. So also being shared in the chat is that if you are a founder or funder and want to be featured on MAXPitch and get a possible heart attack from Bilal, we have a form in the chat as well for that opportunity as well for you to be on this side of the screen. And if you have any further questions as well for Salman, please feel free to drop those in the chat too. Alrighty, I'm going to give us another 10 seconds and then we will get going. And that is time. Alrighty, let us bring the floor back to our funders and hear what you have to say. I'll start us off here with Kareem.
Thanks, Salman. Great presentation. A really cool platform that you've built. I'm in. Would love to learn more in a kind of an offline conversation. But sounds super neat. Potentially, you know, changing patient outcomes, which is something I've echoed in the previous presentation that I'm passionate about. So, yeah, I would love to learn more.
Thank you.
Okay, good news. We love to hear. Let's keep the momentum going. I'm going to pass the floor to Mohammed.
Yes, Salman, very good presentation. I definitely see the need. I mean, I know a lot of people that are experimenting with GLP therapies on their own, GLP-1 therapies, CGMs, they're kind of rolling their own. So there's definitely a better way. So I think you're onto something. Some of them have support from their, you know, doctors, endocrinologists. Some of them don't. Even looking overseas where GLP-1s are a lot more affordable, there's a lot of people kind of experimenting with these things. So there's a big untapped market. What I just can't tell is how you break into that market. Like I don't see the clear vision in how you insert like the software and the app into this kind of ecosystem of devices and drugs. And there's definitely a way. I don't have the crisp vision on it. So I'll sit this one out.
Okay, thanks for the feedback.
Alrighty, thank you, Mohammed. And last but not least, we pass it back to Bilal.
Yeah, Salman. So I play hockey. And last week I had a game and I got 2 points, but I was just short of a hat trick. And I feel like today is the day. Like I feel like today is the day for a hat trick. I'm like 2 in. I'm super interested in what you guys are doing. So Salman, I'm in, man. I think you guys have generated 300K in annual revenue a year. You're looking to raise $1 million on 300 of revenue. Like those terms seem pretty good. And it's recurring revenue. It's sticky. I'd love to dive deep. Like I said, I'm going to make a connection to our folks, my friends over at Whittington, and maybe we can jump on a call together with them and you to learn more.
Definitely. Would love to. Appreciate it.
All right, buddy. I'm in. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Well, congratulations, Salman. Congratulations, CloudCure. Thank you for your time and efforts, and thank you to our judges as well. With that, that brings us the conclusion of our episode. And I'd like to give a thank you as well to all of our folks here for joining us. Thank you to our founders, our funders, our audience, our MAXPitch team behind the scenes. It's been a great episode with us all together here. And again, we've got all the links in the chat if you'd like to be a founder or a funder for future episodes and stay engaged with the MAXPitch community. Next episode, we've got some more great companies coming your way. We've got Naviair, AI, and AgriLift. More information on those to come, so keep an eye out. Stay tuned. Thank you all once again for joining us. I'm Alia Jalil, and this was MAXPitch.